This video about anger, yes, and about the 9th law of Robert Greene's book, 48 Laws of Power. It's about relation between channelized anger and power. Maybe not like Hulk. Let's explore. Chapter 1. The futility of argument. In interactions, arguments often arise when individuals attempt to assert their ideas, beliefs, or perspectives. However, engaging in arguments is seldom an effective method for achieving true persuasion or influence. The essence of Law 9, win through your actions, never through argument, lies in the understanding that words are inherently limited in their ability to alter deeply held convictions or to inspire genuine change. Arguments tend to polarize individuals, causing them to dig deeper into their own viewpoints, rather than considering alternative perspectives. When engaged in a verbal dispute, rather than seeking common ground or understanding, this defensive posture often leads to heightened emotions, escalating conflicts, and the deterioration of relationships. Moreover, the nature of argumentation is adversarial. It frames the interaction as a contest to be won, rather than a cooperative effort to solve a problem or share knowledge. This competitive stance fosters an environment of opposition and resistance, making it challenging to reach a productive resolution. In contrast, actions bypass these verbal confrontations and present undeniable evidence of competence, commitment, and capability. By demonstrating your beliefs, skills, or intentions through concrete actions, you communicate more powerfully and convincingly than words ever could. Actions provide tangible proof that is difficult to refute. They show, rather than tell, what you stand for and what you can achieve. This approach not only minimizes conflict, but also builds credibility and respect. For example, consider a scenario in which two colleagues are vying for a leadership role. One might engage in heated debates to prove their vision is superior. The other, however, chooses to implement a successful project that embodies their vision. The latter will naturally earn the respect and support of their peers, illustrating the principle that actions speak louder than words. Winning through actions involves a level of patience and strategic thinking that arguments lack. It requires an understanding that true influence is built over time, through consistent and reliable demonstration of one's abilities and principles. This method fosters trust and admiration as others witness first and the outcomes of your efforts, making it a far more effective path to enduring power and influence. Seneca, in his work on anger, advises viewing anger as a temporary madness and striving to control it before it controls us. He suggests reflecting on the transient nature of life and the futility of anger, which helps tame it and redirect that energy toward constructive endeavors. This approach mirrors Greene's principle of winning through actions, as it emphasizes rational, deliberate actions over emotional disputes. Chapter 2. The Power of Actions. When you perform an action that aligns with your goals or values, you provide concrete evidence of your capabilities. This demonstration is far more persuasive than any argument. For instance, if a manager implements a successful new strategy at work, the results serve as proof of competence, leadership, and vision, making any verbal defense unnecessary. This approach also builds credibility, as trust is earned through consistency and reliability, which are best demonstrated over time through actions rather than words. Actions have the power to reduce conflict. Arguments often escalate because each party tries to prove the other wrong, leading to defensiveness and hostility. By focusing on actions, you avoid this adversarial dynamic. Instead of arguing about what should be done, you simply do it, letting the results speak for themselves. This approach can diffuse potential conflicts, before they begin, creating a more harmonious and productive environment. For example, in a team setting, prototyping a solution and presenting the working model moves the discussion forward and provides a concrete example for constructive critique. Influence is often built on the foundation of respect and admiration, which are earned through actions. When you consistently demonstrate your values and capabilities through what you do, you build a reputation as someone who can be relied upon and respected. This form of leadership is particularly powerful because it is based on demonstrated ability and integrity rather than persuasion or manipulation. People are inspired by those who lead by example and by showing that you are willing to put in the work and produce tangible results. Others are more likely to follow your lead. Actions have the power to create lasting impact. While words can be forgotten or dismissed, actions are remembered and their effects felt over time. By focusing on what you do, you leave a tangible legacy that can influence others long after the initial action has taken place. For instance, a teacher who goes above and beyond to help students understand difficult concepts not only improves their immediate learning outcomes, but also leaves a lasting impression. The teacher's actions demonstrate a commitment to education that can inspire students throughout their lives. In Buddhism, the concept of right action, part of the Noble Eightfold Path, emphasizes ethical conduct and the importance of demonstrating virtue through deeds. Mindfulness transforms anger into compassion, leading to positive actions that influence others more effectively than arguments. Chapter 3. The ineffectiveness of arguments. Despite our natural inclination to resolve disagreements through discussion, arguments often prove to be ineffective in changing minds or achieving meaningful outcomes. Verbal disputes can be emotionally charged and counterproductive, leading to entrenchment rather than resolution. This chapter explores why arguments fail and how focusing on actions can yield better results. Arguments typically arise from a place of passion, where emotions run high and logic can be overshadowed by personal biases. When people argue, their primary goal often shifts from seeking truth or understanding to winning the dispute. This competitive nature of arguments can lead to increased frustration, anger, and defensiveness. Research in psychology has shown that when people are emotionally aroused, their cognitive processing becomes biased. A study conducted at Stanford University in 1979 by Charles Lord Lee Ross and Mark Lepper found that when participants were presented with evidence both supporting and contradicting their pre-existing beliefs, they tended to strengthen their original stance rather than reconsider their views. This phenomenon, known as confirmation bias, explains why arguments often fail to change minds and instead reinforce pre-existing beliefs. During arguments, individuals often become more entrenched in their positions. This entrenchment effect is a psychological phenomenon where people double down on their views when faced with opposition. The adversarial nature of arguments exacerbates this effect, making it difficult for either party to back down without feeling defeated. While persuasion is a key component of effective communication, its impact is limited when it comes to deeply held beliefs or values. Persuasion relies heavily on the skill of the communicator and the receptiveness of the audience. However, in many cases, the audience is resistant to change, especially if the persuasive attempt threatens their identity or core values. Actions, on the other hand, provide concrete evidence that can be more persuasive than words. When people see tangible results or benefits, they are more likely to be convinced. For instance, in a business environment, demonstrating the success of a new strategy through pilot projects can be more compelling than presenting arguments or projections. In many martial arts traditions, the concept of channeling anger into disciplined action is a fundamental principle. Aikido, a Japanese martial art, teaches practitioners to use the energy of an opponent's attack which can be fueled by anger and redirected in a controlled and harmonious way. This philosophy extends beyond physical combat to include emotional and mental discipline, encouraging individuals to transform their own anger into focused and constructive action. This martial arts approach to managing conflict and anger by demonstrating control and skill aligns seamlessly with the principle of winning through actions. By maintaining discipline and demonstrating capability, one avoids the pitfalls of argumentation and showcases strength through action. Arguments often fail to achieve their intended goals due to the emotional and psychological dynamics involved. They can lead to entrenchment, reinforce biases, and create adversarial relationships. In contrast, actions have the power to cut through these barriers by providing tangible evidence of competence, integrity, and effectiveness. By focusing on what we do rather than what we say, we can build stronger influence, foster collaboration, and achieve more meaningful outcomes. This principle underscores the importance of winning through actions, as it transcends the limitations of verbal disputes and leverages the undeniable power of demonstrated results. Now we would like you to like and subscribe our channel. Comment down your thoughts on this. We will glad to hear from you and pin down the best and most inspiring one. Now, after commenting, click on the right of your screen to watch the next video. Peace.